Hello, I'm here Toycat, and every single Minecraft world contains so much natural beauty that I don't think enough people fully ever appreciate. And that's because most players work on building synthetically. They build on top of their Minecraft world, which is great. That is a style of playing that some people really do enjoy so much more. But personally, I think the natural beauty of a world is one of the most striking features. One of the biggest points of the full world is to take advantage of that. And today I feel like I can give you 13 ideas that will help you to build on top of that natural generation, because although there are enough ideas to last a lifetime, I feel like 13 is a catchy number, and you know how lists work on YouTube, so let's go through and give you 13 such ways to work with a natural feature rather than against it. And we're going to start right here with a ravine, because a ravine is something everyone is familiar with. They spawn all over your Minecraft world. If you're on Bedrock, they spawn very deep over your Minecraft world, and being able to take advantage of one of these things is kind of hard to do. Like, some people just patch over it and then build something over it and hope no one ever digs down. Some people just leave it and see the ground as unusable, but I think a great way to take advantage of it is to build on both sides and then to cover it up with something semi-transparent. I think glass is such a simple way to kind of leave this point, but if you cover your ravine in glass, like so, what you end up with is an easy way to walk across it, but also a way to appreciate the real depth of this thing. Even if we go over here, again, doing this mildly scarily right now, but you can see how there is a 64-ish block gap between me and the ground. It's kind of scary, but it's also very magnificent. A few stacks of glass later, and now not only is the ravine entirely neutered, unless you get like exploded by a creeper, but let's be honest, you should be worrying about those issues, otherwise they shouldn't be able to spawn on top of here, so light up the area around it. But also we've got this kind of cool feature where we can look down and see this. It's really great, in my opinion, as a way to make a ravine into something a bit more interesting. Again, rather than covering it up or rather than leaving it, this is a great middle ground solution that allows you to keep your natural beauty off the ravine and allows you to maybe even appreciate it some more with actually doing very minimal effort, especially because this one happens to go through a desert, which we can easily mine to get ourselves some sand to get the glass. So there's an easy way to take a ravine and make it something more interesting. But we can also apply this to pretty much any structure in the game. So for instance, here is a mountain. It's a very bizarrely shaped mountain, as you can see. I think it'd be perfect to build a base on top of, and that's what most people think about. They think of a beautiful Minecraft base here. Well, no longer do you have to imagine. I mean, look at this beauty. Took me a few hours to whip out, but as you can see, I'm really good at Minecraft building. You know, this took a few hours. Had to call up my mother, of course, and get some feedback, workshop it with some of the best Minecraft builders out there. But, you know, what we end up with was really great in the end. But the problem is a lot of people will make their base, but then they won't think about how they can utilize the fact that this is in a very nice biome, a Savannah M, for instance. By the way, this is from a Seed Sunday. We'll link that down below if you want to get this particular seed. But you can see how, like, oh yeah, this is also really close to a couple of other mountains, and you could get some really great views by utilizing the big gap between two pretty much equal-sized mountains. Or we could link over to that one, or we could link over to that one, or we could do all three. But for now, let's just say they're like, yeah, this little pathway that we've made, why don't we link it to another mountain? And even the saddest of pathways will still look good when you start working on it. I mean, look at this one, for instance. Like, it's literally just blocks floating over nothing, but it's still a kind of cool feel to have this float over nothing. But you know what? You want to have something that feels a bit more thematic, that fits going between these kind of jungly islands. So how exactly do you do that? Okay, so hear me out here. I reckon a way better solution is to do something like this, to use campfires as a way to get across. And yeah, I mean, like, admittedly, having it be on fire, maybe you can make some grand statement about how the Amazon is burning and we're all watching. You know, that's entirely okay if that's what you're going for. Or you can just go through with a shovel and you can extinguish them all, which I'll admit is an oddly satisfying task. You gotta give this a what? You know, even if we take nothing from this video besides extinguish your campfires, I think this is a surprisingly fun thing to do. But what you end up with is this kind of crossing where, as you can see, it looks mildly like a rope bridge that's kind of suspended. Or you can do anything like this. Having a bridge that looks like it is between remote little islands can be a lot of fun, and you can utilize them not only because, oh yeah, use your building skills or whatever, but also because it's a great way to get between these islands much faster than alternative transport. Or you can just admit that, like, you know, for a distance this big, even in survival, at some point you're going to want to use ice, so you could just go the lazy route. Or maybe, depending on your perspective, it's actually the high effort route, because actually doing this does take a lot of effort, but you're going for a lot of effort to save yourself a lot of effort. Is that being lazy? I would argue that is kind of being lazy, but it's the good type of lazy that helps you out in life, because the less effort you expend doing things you don't need to do, the better you'll probably be off. But that is a topic for another video, because this is just my guide that, hey, if you see a nice little island like this, having your base be on top of it, and then having that linked to other islands is a great way to kind of have builds distributed around your world. Take advantage of mountain biomes, of desert mountains, or in particular, my favorite, savanna mountains, and you can do precisely this. But if there is one structure that you do need to bridge over, and, you know, in the case of this one, we can say it's not as much as it otherwise would have had to be. This is the original river that Notch wanted to make when rivers were first coming to Minecraft. A part of me is sad that it's not like that, because there's not really any reason to bridge across current rivers. I mean, especially if swimming, you just swim across. But, you know what? You might want to bridge across the river anyway, and what's a fun way to do that? Well, I think one of the most fun things is to use waterlogging, and you can make yourself a little bridge where the water still exists if you really want it to, but you can still, as you can see right here, make a bridge across the water. Wow, look at that. It's a bridge made of leaves, but the water is actually still flowing through it. It's a very bizarre thing. It means a lot of very weird things will happen. But yeah, you can make a bridge. You could even, if you want to, weirdly enough, kind of make it go all the way down. So like if we have this go all the way through here, it still won't stop the flow of water. I mean, not that it would regardless, but the water is still technically in existence all the way through all of these blocks because these are waterlogged leaf blocks. You could also, if you really wanted to, do the same thing that we did the ravine where you cover the entire top layer of the river with leaves. This would stop any, you know, like bad mobs from coming to the top. Let's say you really hate drowns. You really hate drowns with tridents, which are so OP, by the way. Can we complain about that here? We totally can. It's my YouTube video. Drowns with tridents is such an annoying thing that just, again, there's no real way to know they're coming until you get hit with a trident and most of your health bar is gone. So if you want to avoid that happening, and even once you've got armor and you just want to, you know, save the world, then you could perhaps cover the top of your water with leaves. And then maybe you'd have something that looks like this. It's a very bizarre idea. Very weird idea on that one, but still, you could totally cover the top of your river with leaves, and it's got the same kind of effect as the ravine, where you can see down below it, except I would say far less in this case, and also, it just has a very weird effect. But yeah, if you want to walk on water, then short of freezing it into ice, this is perhaps the best way. But also what you might want to do, this is a little bit of a project, but it has very cool results in my opinion, is dam up a Minecraft river. So sadly, because rivers don't flow, they are literally all water sitting still. Even if we take a cross section of a river right here and we fill it with, say, sand, I think a far more fun block would be, you know, smooth stone as an example, because, you know, it looks like a dam. Looks like that one Hoover Dam. I went to it one time. You know, it's kind of cool that it's big, but I don't get why it's a tourist attraction. Also, it's named after one of the presidents that is generally seen as not such a great president, so it's like, this is just a dam, huh? I guess it's a big thing that is near Las Vegas. That's cool, I guess. Anyway, so what you want to do when you got yourself a big dam is you'll realize that, like, oh, water doesn't stop flowing through it, because even though, you know, you can see how, like, it would flow through here, water is just a lot of different blocks, which means what you have to do is pick a side of the river, and yes, this is a draining process, a very draining process. What you have to do is you have to then use some sponges, which you can find right over here, or in survival in a nice little ocean monument, and then you got to drain the entirety of this thing. Some very weird things happen sometimes. I'm not sure I understand what's going on right here, but what is happening? Is there a glitch of sponges where they don't turn into wet sponges? I think there might be. You know, honestly, the idea I was originally going on about, can we scrap that and say that this is the fourth thing you should do? Place some sponges near some flowing water in such a way that it always flows into them. I'd be lying if I said I didn't like the result a little bit, having this entirely drained river. It is a very high effort thing to go through, and there's always going to be some straggling bits of water that appear from nowhere. But yeah, if you want to make yourself a little drained river, you can do that. And you can also use this as a way to kind of reprogram your river, because if you have the river go like in a downwards fashion, you actually can make an effective dam, because if we remove a few blocks right here, you'll see how the water actually will start flowing. And then if we have, say, a piston over here that activates these blocks, we could actually make the water flow all the way through the river if we wanted to. So if you want to have activatable water dams, it's a fun, dumb project. It doesn't make any sense in terms of you would never want flowing water, you would never go through this much effort just to have some, but it's a cool project that matches the real world, and you know what? It uses Minecraft's natural beauty by destroying part of it to use the rest of it. Again, kind of like in the real world. We use the power of the river by removing some of the power of the river, and that's cool. Or maybe you think that's dumb and you like the environment and stuff. And if that's the case, boy, you're gonna love my next solution. Because if you like the environment, you probably like books, right? Which means you like bookshelves because they hold books. Am I onto a winner yet? Have I nailed you down as a person? So anyway, now that I know a fact about you, I can tell you that, yeah, you know what? Something you do in Minecraft is enchanting, but what if you made the Stronghold room into an enchantment room? And the greatest thing about this is most of the bookshelves you need to enchant tools at whatever level is going to be in here. And that is the real power of the library stronghold, in my opinion. You can place your thing, kind of down here if you want to benefit from a corner. You can, there's lots of different places you can do stuff, and with just a little bit of rearranging and a little bit of tidying up. Honestly, this is my next idea: tidy up a stronghold library. I'm just saying, if you can't even clean up a library in Minecraft, how do you expect to change the world and fix the environment? The answer is you can't. If you can't do the most basic of cleaning tasks, then you can't do the most complex of of fixing things. But yeah, as you can see, you just have to clean up this area, and then you can just remove a few bookshelves and place a few in their place. So let's just make a little area right here, and all of a sudden, what we've got ourselves is a bona fide, I don't know if that's the correct way to use that word, enchantment room, where, as you can see, there is now a full surrounding of bookshelves. Again, this is actually excessive. You don't need this many to get to level 30. You don't even need half of this many, honestly, but it's a cool way to kind of take the library archetype and flip it on its head, because it doesn't even look that different from the inside. And if you just remove a few corner pillars and stuff, you can make it look even better. And also, you can make multiple different types of enchantment table. So you can have this one over here, which is for level like 3 enchantments. Okay, it's too close to the things. If you just place it like right here as you walk in, this can be for like lowish level 8, like let's just say level 1 is the better thing. If you want to have something in between, you can do that too. Using the library room in a stronghold to actually represent something, I think is a really great use of a room that is otherwise very underappreciated. Like, this room literally even gives you enchanted books in the chest. Silk Touch. What an enchantment. People go off that all the time. It's going to give me Frostwalker, Power and Law, and Silk Touch again. It really wants me to have silky touches. And you know what most people do is they just come through here, they think, oh, it's not the end room, and they move on. But no, at the very least, take the books, but at the most, use this as your enchanting room if it's anywhere near your base, that is. If it's not, I guess it'd be awkward to use. But you could move villagers down here and you could trade with them and get some experience that way. So, it's a great idea, and you should totally do it if you value your lives. And if you don't value your lives, maybe what you do value is your end portal room. So here is an idea that I'm sure no one's ever come up with. It's a historic one on the internet, so I want you to all brace yourselves for impact. Because something that I think not enough people know about is, did you know if you put IF enders inside the end portal, there's this weird noise that happens, and I don't know why, but like, you see this kind of space thing. If you go through, you probably die or something. I don't know for sure, never done it myself. But, this room is beautiful, and I feel like there's some reason to come through here. So, something I think is a great idea is not only to dig to the surface above your end portal to kind of make like an easy way to access it, because fun fact, you don't take full damage when falling through an end portal, so you can fall all the way from down here into your end, not take any damage. Pretty cool in my opinion. So yeah, making like a big kind of portal up and down into your portal, if you forgive the double use of words, that's kind of a great idea in my opinion, but I think you could go a step further. And although you could take that to mean just destroy the chunk above your end portal, I think you could take this a step further than even this, although I think this is kind of a cool thing to see by itself, just a little slit hole into your portal from above the stronghold room. But what if we took it a step further than this? So I'm 20 minutes in and starting to realize what a daunting task this really is, and this is with the creative magic abilities just spawn in blocks. Obviously in survival this would be a huge challenge, has to be said, but let's keep on going. So I accidentally let some water in while I was covering it, and I want to know what happens when water hits the end portal. Probably nothing, but maybe something. Oh, suspense. What's gonna happen? Is it gonna be nothing? Is it gonna break? Will the water go to the end? Huh, you can cover up a end portal with water and it breaks it. Like, it seriously breaks it. To a level where I think you almost want to do this. So I guess we'll be leaving that in place. So this was actually surprisingly fun to do, and obviously it's a huge project. A huge project you might say, well that's just impossible, Toycat. You're never going to be able to do something like this in survival. Just the amount of blocks that it requires to destroy, this isn't a very good solo project, and you might be thinking that until I say that, actually this amount of endstone brick is not the hardest part of the project. Imagine it was something like, say, Prismarine. Well, then it'd be even harder and even more impossible. Well, imagine if someone actually did that. This is a, something that Greg Orban, a Reddit user, actually has managed to do. Look at this nice thing that they did in survival, by the way, or at least so they claim. Look at this, the walls they've done around the outside. Look at the water flowing in from 4 directions. Apparently, the water thing works for them too, but it doesn't seem to glitch out their end portal because I guess they're on Java. But like, look at the insanity going on with their thing, and then this looks kind of sad by comparison. I feel sad that like my 40 minutes or so of like Minecraft creative work is nothing compared to the days of work that must have gone into that Minecraft build. And I want to just show you as like, you know, sometimes there are things you can do that are so impressive using the natural part of your world that even someone playing around a creative can't match them without spending, you know, hours and whatever of their time. And there's just something cool about this screenshot that I can't replicate with mine, but just know this is a cool thing you can do to any scale. Even if you just go down here and you have it just be this size, you know, as you can see with my stairs. I hate placing stairs, but you can see like even if you did it this way, it'd be like, actually this is pretty cool too. But the bigger, the better, and that's the truth for any Minecraft build, which will bring us nicely into, say, a cave, because who doesn't like caves, right? I mean, they obviously could be better. Do we all agree perhaps an update to caves would be nice? I don't know what you'd call that, perhaps, but you know, caves could do with a little bit of, you know, some reworking, maybe we could call this words. And, you know, like when you find a cave, you could do that yourself, because most caves in Minecraft won't take you all the way down to bedrock layer. Actually, this one might take me all the way down to diamonds, though. I was trying to prove a point by going into a random cave and saying how you can't go all the way down to diamond layer, but this one's taking me down to Y20, and I bet if we follow it even further, yep, it takes me right down to diamond layer, and even slightly below it. That's pretty cool. You can mine diamonds straight from this cave at the surface, which is pretty nutty, but most caves aren't like this. Most Minecraft caves will not take you down to diamonds, and let's be honest, this one's kind of hard to navigate, so what I recommend doing is finding a nice Minecraft cave, one that really speaks to you. This one doesn't speak to me. I mean, if caves speak to you, actually, I recommend upping your medication, first of all. And then, after you've got that medication on lockdown, then find yourself a nice cave. And I cannot stress this next bit enough. Make sure the cave isn't speaking to you. If the cave is speaking to you, that's probably a sign that you didn't get enough medication earlier. And again, always worth rechecking that one up because, you know, you just want to look after your own safety. But once you find a cave that you like, but sadly has a short dead end, or is just in the sort of style that you like, because Minecraft has a few different cave types, something I think is a really fun little project is to extend it. Because obviously most people, when they make their caves, they look something like this bland just digging down to bedrock in a little bit of, you know, up, down, etc. And that's very efficient, but you know, you're here to work with the natural beauty and to extend it, and that's why I recommend destroying and kind of extending the cave downwards. By the way, while I'm doing this, do you want to know a fun fact? Destroying blocks in creative is actually slower than destroying blocks in survival for a healthy majority of blocks, and especially for stone, for netherrack, etc. And that sounds wacky because, you know, this is me destroying pretty much as fast as I can in creative. Now I'm tapping instead of holding it down, and you can see I'm speeding up a little bit, but you can actually mine even faster than this. Oh, we actually found a cave. Pretend we didn't for the sake of this argument. What just happened? Because if you have the haste to effect, which you can get just via giving yourself a command like this, or you can get via a beacon in survival, which, you know, is like the way we're normally talking about this, you can actually instantly mine blocks if you have efficiency 5 and a diamond or netherite pickaxe, which means that, as you can see, you can actually mine blocks way faster in survival than you can in creative, which means if you want to make a very big cave, you can do so just like this. And personally, I think the result you get when you make your own cave, obviously, there's a lot of very rough edges that you kind of have to work around, and that's always like, you know, there's some rough edges. You got to work around those. But I think the end results are pretty cool because you get what seems like, on the surface, a very natural looking cave. Very few people want to come down there. Very few people are interested in it. But it makes a much more natural feeling Minecraft base if the cave that is attached is very natural too. Alternatively, you could go entirely the other way and make a cave look spooky, unnatural as a way to either have a nether portal at the end or, you know, just for fun. Like, netherrack's such a common block. Why not use it to replace the stone in your caves with some netherrack? I mean, does this cave not look way spookier right now? I think it does. That's why I said it. That's why I say most things in these videos. Look at this cave over here. Same thing. And it doesn't take much netherrack to replace all of the stone in a cave either. Again, it's just a few stacks, and netherrack, very easy to come by, especially if you've got that good old efficiency pickaxe in survival. I'd argue that netherrack is such an annoyingly common block in survival that it's easier to come by there than outside of it. Fight me if you disagree, because you're probably right. Ooh, look at this. I found a little exposed spider spawner in the midst of my netherrack. See, easy way to hide the way there. No one goes to a spider spawner. No one goes for a nether cave thinking, you know, on the other end, I might just find a spider spawner. or if you do, you've got bad decision-making skills. But that is another idea you could do. Turn your caves into Nether. But, you know, I haven't really addressed the whole how do you mine diamonds thing. Because a lot of people still do like to mine diamonds, and it's still an effective-ish way of getting diamond blocks and jukeboxes, as I've covered in a recent video. So if you want the things that you can't trade for or find or you know, get naturally, then you need to go mining for diamonds. And how do I recommend that? How do I turn that into a fun thing? So everyone knows about abandoned mine shafts, right? They're mine shafts that are abandoned, as it turns out. And the interesting thing about these is they kind of have a very finite span. Even the biggest ones of these will span for a couple hundreds of blocks, but they're a very interesting structure in my opinion, because why are they so abandoned? Does it need to be this way? Well, if you're in survival, and if you're lucky enough to find one at just the right layer, this one's about 17, so maybe a few blocks too high, or even if you don't find one at the right layer, let's be honest, it's not too hard to move it down. Oh, we found diamonds already. You know, it's really easy to find diamonds in Minecraft, just gotta go down a few blocks from your mineshaft. But yeah, all you gotta do is either find a mineshaft which is at the right layer, like this one just so happens to be perfectly at, look at that, Y11 going in this direction, and then you can start mining. Coincidentally, you know, not only are you gonna be mining for diamonds in a semi-efficient manner, again, realistically, making a 3x3 pathway isn't the most efficient way, but also you can be extending your abandoned mineshaft. So here is an abandoned mineshaft tunnel going literally as far as the eye can see. Let's ignore all the diamonds that we found along the way. But the cool thing about this is not only the fact that you have this kind of surreal structure. Again, it's just using a Minecraft natural structure. Not even the best looking one. This is one of the earliest things they did with caves. You know, you can tell that this is an old feature because it was back when Minecraft actually thought the underground needed updating. You know, the old days of 2011. But yeah, you can see how, you know, like once you do this, once you do make a little tunnel out of these things, it has this very weird characteristic of it. And just in case you don't like this enough, you actually can, if you really want to, take this a step further, and then you can actually unabandon the mineshaft. You can build rails along the ground, and that way you actually have a reason, you know, like a reason for all this to exist, a way to go very fast through it. And I think that's really great, personally, to have a super fast abandoned mineshaft rail thing. And if you agree, build it. And if you don't agree, then I guess you're on the wrong video? I don't know. But yeah, I think extending an abandoned mineshaft to make it mega, to make it go all the way underneath, say, your base, your world, from place to place, it's a great idea. And can you tell that I do too? Do you like my use of structure blocks, by the way? It led to this very weird little corner right there, but let's remove that. Boom, look how nice this looks. But yeah, there's a lot of fun ways you could do this. In survival and in creative. Have you noticed this video is in creative yet? I feel like I've pointed out that someone's going to be like, Toycat, you misled us. You said these were survival ideas. And it's like, the survival ideas that to sum up in anything less than 12 hours. Actually not. It's been a couple of hours in creative already. I wonder how many hours this would take in survival. Find out by building all of these and let me know how long it takes. You also could, if you wanted to protect your wells, you know, your very valuable resource. Everyone knows how great a desert well is. Everyone knows how useful it is to find water in the desert. There's none of that anywhere else, and therefore you want to protect them from pillagers and zombies and creepers, and the best way to do that is to build a wall, make your Minecraft desert world great again. Let's be honest, it was never great. There was never a point in time where this was a valid idea. How did it even get into the game? I mean, it makes the abandoned mineshaft look like a beautiful piece of art, I guess. But yeah, look at that. We built a wall, and now only we can get into this beautiful oasis. Another great way to use the natural resources of Minecraft while still kind of making it your own is to take a village, which, you know, as we all know, they exist, but they're very fragile, especially the villagers, both to zombies overnight, as it's always been, and since 1.14, also the pillagers, because pillager outposts in general, or at least in my you know, experiences, will always spawn somewhere near a village, which makes sense. They need something to terrorize, but these guys are just one little stray accident away from walking into your village and killing all of the villager progress that you worked so hard on. So doesn't it make sense to build a wall? I mean, you want to make the village great again? We all know how to do that. Now might be a good time to remind you all, by the way, that walls as of 1.16 will actually tile like a wall should, you know, with no gaps in them. It used to be very annoying, like having huge things in there, but now the only gaps in your wall are the one that you want to be in there, which is pretty cool in my opinion, because you can also effectively do stuff like this to have little other blocks hidden in your wall. I don't know why you'd want to. I don't think sandstone and red sandstone go too well together, but you can do it pretty much any wall in Minecraft, just in case you want to have, like, I don't know, some bricks in the middle of your red sandstone wall. You can totally do that. I just wouldn't recommend it. And now we have ourselves not only a wall going around the entire village, which protects it from absent-minded pillagers as well as from the night if zombies are coming in, if you light this entire area up. But also you can have like an official entrance in and out, and some people like that. I'm not very good at making entrances. Have I mentioned that I'm not good at building in this video? I don't know if that's come up. I don't know if that comes up in any of my videos, but you know, here it is right now. I don't make particularly great things for Minecraft, but the basic concept, doing this but like actually good, imagine that. Wouldn't that be great? Did you see right there? Literally a hole through that. What? How do I even remove? Did I just do that and pretend? Yep, there we go. Look how good I am at building things. I'm the best. This is why they pay me the big bucks. But speaking of being paid the big bucks, do you know where you can do that? Actually, probably a village. You know, this is a bad transition because we're talking about villages. But you know what? Building villages is not just a thing you can do here in the overworld. Because one of the parts of Minecraft that I think really lacks natural beauty, and maybe that you could consider being the beauty itself, is the end islands. These are a part of Minecraft, and honestly, the voids in between them, like, which are huge in some cases, are a part of Minecraft which really get to the core of the game and tell you, hey, we're not even going to give you a basis on which to build on, besides these ugly plants, a world generation which is just spheroids, and you know, stuff like that. And therefore the challenge is to make your own stuff on top of it, and that's a challenge you might as well take, right? And do any insane thing you want out here, including make some of that money, honey. Does this look absolutely absurd? Yes. But does it function as a village? Also, yes. You can do anything you want out here in the End Islands, and the cool thing about villages is you can move them literally anywhere in the world. So even though there are only, you know, by default 6 types of Minecraft village, there are 8 types of villager, and then there are an infinite number of places you can make one of these things, and you can make it as true or as not true to the original village as you like. You can theme it on the end, or you can not theme it in the end at all, and you can just make this place an extra overworld. But the fact is, if you want to play Minecraft building on hard mode, if you want to play in a world with no natural structures, the end is a great place to do that, and it's kind of the anti-point of this video. Like, oh yeah, the world is filled with natural beauty until it isn't, and then things are way harder, right? To finish this video, let me talk about something that I've never been sure on how to use it. It's always been my goal to do something like this, but I've never quite succeeded. But making cactuses into some form of like house, maybe, into making them into a wall. I don't know, like cactuses are this really weird block in Minecraft that you can stack as high as you like. They naturally spawn up to 3 blocks, although sometimes as high as 18, whole thing about that. But like, you know, they usually spawn up to 3 or 4 blocks, but then, you know, you can stack them as high as you want if you jump on top of them, and because they can't be next to any other cactus blocks, you get this really weird thing where you kind of build them diagonally. I don't know, you can make a wall out of it, but it's a really weird wall. You can make some natural beauty, maybe. I don't know, cactuses, they're beautiful, and I wanted to say at some point in this video, because we have to hit 13, because 12, that's a lame number. 13, you want to watch this video for it. I'll be honest, I have bamboozled you. The 13th thing, it's not a real thing here, because you know, maybe lists are arbitrary. Maybe making anything in Minecraft is arbitrary. I would argue that it actually is. But the real beauty is the friends we make along the way. You know, it's not about what you build, it's about how much fun you have doing it. And obviously, the point of this video is not to, yeah, again, some videos will always claim, like, these are the best things you can do. In Minecraft, that's always going to be subjective on some end. The important thing is that if you wanted a building idea, hopefully by the end of this video, you've got one. Or, at the very least, if somehow every one of these ideas suck to you, you're like, no, I don't want to cover my ravine in glass, I don't want to cover my river in leaf, so I'll dam it up. Again, I think this is a damn good river, but maybe if you disagree with all of that, at least you have some ideas that you hate, because personally, the way that I like building stuff is I look at something I hate, and then I'm like, how can I make this something I don't hate? You know, if you hate more things in the world than you like, that's cool, that's a natural way to be. It sucks, and you know what, it means that you're not very likely to like this video when I tell you to, but that's okay, because I hope that this video inspired you more than I hope you choose to like it or that you consider subscribing or whatever. Don't do those things. Just go out, have some fun in Minecraft, and if you build something cool, you know, share it on my subreddit, reddit.com/r/IVXToyCat. I do love seeing some stuff on there sometimes, and maybe you do too. That's where we find some of the cool things that inspire me, or that inspire me to do the opposite. It's great, it's a wonderful time, and if you had a wonderful time today, then I'll see you there, or maybe I'll see you never again if you didn't. Goodbye.